Hold your horses. An evil genius was caught at the Walmart self checkout. I feel like there's been lots of little scammy stuff that people do at self checkout. You know, you've heard of them putting like banana stickers on a ribeye.
Oh.
This goes to a whole new level of genius. Okay, hold on to your hats. This is borderline brilliant. Okay,
Evil genius?
it is. It is very much an evil genius moment. So, an Idaho man, which right there, that threw me off because I was convinced this was going to start with a Florida man because all the absurd stories start with a man or a woman in Florida. Okay.
But Florida man doesn't tend the evil genius. It's more
That is
just
true. This is a
evil
little too
chaos.
creative for the
Okay.
Florida man, I guess. And I
Yeah, okay.
apologize because I'm from Florida. But anyway, this ingenious Idaho man made a homemade barcode inscribed ring. Okay. So his ring, which I'm guessing is probably about the size of like a class ring, had a barcode inscribed in it. So that way he could use it at the Walmart self checkout. Okay. Now, the UPC code, the barcode that was on his ring, was for a great value can of condensed tomato soup, which runs about 70 cents. Okay.
Okay.
So this Idaho man, he's 32. His name is Dylan Rockwell. Well, Dylan admitted to ripping off the store on several occasions and was finally caught after ringing up a can of tomato soup, supposedly, but he actually bought a $300 barbecue grill. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Now, in a statement that was made on Instagram, of all places, by the Caldwell Police Department, they shared that the clever thief used this makeshift ring. He waved it over the reader when the attendant wasn't looking, okay, while he was quote unquote unattended, and that he attempted to only pay, like $1 for this grill. And then somebody obviously caught it because they actually called the police with a theft in progress. It sounds like they didn't get there in time before he left, so they tracked this guy down to his home. While being questioned by police, Dylan admitted to pulling the hand-waving scam at Walmart on several occasions. Didn't mention what other products he, quote-unquote, bought. Right. Now, the officers did recover the grill from Rockwell's home, and he is being charged with felony burglary. But we have to give it to the chief of police, because in that statement on Instagram, he mentioned, "Sorry, Mr. Rockwell, your tactics didn't work this time, but we appreciate your creativity." He said, "We know that times are tough, but your ingenuity got you some county soup for dinner." Oh, oh my God. Okay, oh I give it to him. This is brilliant, because who's checking out rings? You know? But
like, they have somebody at the door that checks your receipt when you leave. Somebody's going to notice, be like, that grill wasn't $1. Like, that's probably what happened, is the guy on the way out who checks your receipt was like, no, you didn't.
I go to Walmart pretty frequently, and I have never been asked to look at my receipt. Never.
You do at mine. Really? You do it the ones close to my house. Yeah, and maybe it's because I live closer to a city. Maybe. More likely to have.
So, I mean, I don't know how rural in Idaho he is.
Yeah.
But so that's definitely a question. But I will say that, it kind of sounds like he kept pulling the scam at the same Walmart.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you've got this ingenuity, you should have the brains to go, maybe I should buy a grill at this Walmart, buy a TV at a different Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, split it up. Don't keep going to the same place.
Or this guy really likes
give the ring to someone else. He could literally have had a secret decoder ring, theft ring, with all his buddies, and nobody would have known.
Maybe he does have a ring, and they haven't even uncovered the ring yet.
And then was he caught on ring cam?
Oh,
I don't
bet
know.
he was.
So I'm just saying, like, part of me wants to be like, bravo, dude, you actually thought it through. I also feel like there may have been drugs and alcohol involved to come up with this scheme, but unfortunately, I feel like he probably just got greedy and it all went to heck. So,
Yeah.
wowzers. This is one of definitely the more clever self checkout frauds that I've seen.
Right.
And with the price of groceries and just, people getting desperate, are we about to see even more clever ways of defrauding self checkout?
I wouldn't doubt it. Like they try to make them smarter. But honestly, the more like smart things that they put on those machines makes them even more unusable, unuser friendly. And then because of that, your cashiers are having to visit those, like that one cashier is bouncing from machine to machine. So when there actually is an issue, they're not paying attention to it.
No.
Like my machine today when I went to Kroger went off 3 separate times for no good reason. So like when I went to check out and it said 15 items on the thing, I had 15 items. She didn't count. She didn't look at any of it. She just scanned her thing and moved on because they're overly sensitive now. So now we're playing this game. So now they've done the like, have you seen the conveyor belt ones yet? The self checkouts
Yes.
with the conveyors, and each item has to pass through the sensor before you can scan the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a little less cumbersome just because it's like,
Well,
I
and
don't
you've
know.
seen places like Target that you have to have 10 items or less to use checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar General is actually pulling all of the self checkouts out of their stores. And so I just feel like, you
Well, they better
know,
hire people.
when is somebody just going to go? Self checkout is not the way. Like,
Right.
if you want to combat fraud and theft, take self checkout out,
Yeah.
because I mean, there's actually been a bunch of grocery stores that have closed due to theft. That the theft was so high that they were literally losing tons of money and they had to close those locations. So I feel like whoever had the brilliant idea to have self checkout did not keep in mind just the high levels of stupidity and just the something for nothing people that were going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, the smarter they get, the smarter the criminals get.
Yeah. But then the machines make it where they're so inundated that there's no real checks and balances on it. So no, you're constantly, even in the most innocuous of situations, you have people like me whose machine was just being a pain in the behind, and the cashier's just so overwhelmed with the roundabout that she's been dealing with, and that machine's been a pain in the behind all day apparently. So when that's the scenario, how thorough are you checking anyways? When realistically you could have been paying people behind the registers this entire time, which would save you more than you would think.
Yeah.
Like I imagine it saves them a lot more actually in the long run.
And please tell us below if you have heard or seen any crazy self checkout frauds. Let us know because I just find this stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
So, and also don't forget that some stores are actually prosecuting big time for self checkout fraud. So, man your P's and Q's while you're going through self checkout, or you too could be arrested for fraud.
County soup.